is this not working? It's being stupid. Whatever. Alright. Oh! Up, Jordan. Must have joined the wrong channel. No dirt. So yeah, at some point I'm going to have to do something about storage. We'll figure it out as we go. How'd that become a source block? All gold. That's everything, isn't it? Okay, so I have... Okay, so I have a layer and then something underneath. So, 1, 2, 3... Okay. Wait a minute. 1, 2... Okay. So I need to carve that out. Um, Hey, Tiger.
There we go. What's up, Ander?
Not much.
Still clearing out those levels?
Oh, yeah. Punching rocks in a 16 by 16 formation is hard work.
Would you say it was for again?
For no purpose, really.
Just digging all the way down?
Yeah. I mean, it's really, I think, because I want dirt for another project. So, yeah, I'm digging, like, 64 plus layers down for, the top 4 layers of dirt and whatever I find along the way. Because that's really efficient.
I mean, it's better than, like, getting a diamond pickaxe and then using that to mine all of the, cobblestone. Or all the stone. And then, like, using stone to mine out the, iron. Which is just weird.
Well, I mean, that's what I was doing.
What?
I mean, I have a 2,000 block minecart railway that leads out to various mine shafts and holes in the ground.
Oh, it works, I guess. Is that just, like, a solo world that you've been playing in?
Yeah, it's all solo. So yeah, for, I don't know, I've almost been doing it for a year with no point. I mean, I guess it really is. The project for dirt is to make a football field. And, I guess in honor of the times that we live in, like, I'm not going to put stands up, you know, because social distancing and all that shit.
Yeah.
He says as he's trying to be funny. Okay, so
Sure.
what? Okay. Oh, shit. Okay. This is a bad idea. So I need to clear out 2 under. Okay, we can make this work. Oh yeah, I need to get that piece of dirt back. How? I put my stuff away. I'm gonna need another axe. I know
So
what.
how'd you do in the once tourney?
Oh, I got killed, but that's because I played Squiddy first round, which is really not surprising because like I don't know.
With
It
how it
was
looked, I mean, you were pretty much
Ike.
set to, like... Sorry.
I was just gonna say it's like Ike and one others, like would have been like an even matchup probably. So yeah, my chances of drawing dead were pretty good.
Is Squiddy actually that good at ones?
Yeah, he's a grand champ.
That's weird.
No, I mean he was a ones main for quite some time.
Well, no. Like, it wasn't like an insult towards him. It's just like it's weird because like when I first met him, which wasn't that long ago, he was like challenging everybody to a 1v1, and he was losing them.
No, that's not right.
Dude, like
He's
somebody's like, yeah, he challenges people to ones and then
no
just
he
loses.
no he challenges everyone to ones, but like you know he's actually good at it.
No, I've seen him play like in actual like games and stuff like that. Like I've seen how well he plays. It's just like I never played him in ones, and I just ever only heard that.
Oh,
I'm like, you can't really take like one game that you play against somebody as like a definitive, like, yeah, this is how you play forever. It's still pretty shocking that you just like stayed in the solo world and have been doing the same thing. That long. I think I get on like long enough just to mine a bunch of things to get a bunch of levels, and then I go and chant a bunch of books and I hop off.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, I have a. I don't know. I guess this is from the hashtag promoted or hashtag content. Um, I have a PS4 world that I played probably a year plus on. I think I only covered like. Because I hadn't figured out like Twitch, so I only have like the last half of it on stream. Even though I streamed all of it, but I just forgot to save it basically.
Yeah.
So, um, but yeah, like, I just like decide just like, yeah, let's just like actually see what I can do with it.
Oh,
And
that's right. Forgot to
here
check
I am.
Snap. It's funny because I actually messaged a friend saying I was going to get a PS4 and go in and destroy his city if he didn't reply to me. I just got sir.
Wait a minute, that's what I wanted to do. Okay. Okay. Again, I know what I'm doing here. Okay, so you guys can go hide here. Okay. Chunk 3. Oh, right, right. I forgot about that.
Hmm?
My llama cave. Not lava cave, llama cave.
Get a llama cave. What the hell?
Um, is that? Hold on. Okay, so that's offset by 1. Is that going to be where I want it to be? Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Not really. Yeah, I have a llama from a trader that despawned after a while. I did not push him off. I did not kill him. And
Oh yeah?
he's tied up. He's tied up. And when I get done digging out this chunk, I'll let him roam free in the little cave.
64 blocks down.
No, he's in the home chunk.
The home chunk.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I'm building around. It's a 3x3 grid, and I'm digging out all the edges.
I need to set a project like that.
Yeah, I mean, again, really, all I was doing was just like, huh. I need dirt for this stupid football field. So how's the easiest way to get dirt? Well, if I dig out long railway minecart tracks, I'll get enough dirt eventually, right?
Yeah.
And then as I go, I'll like set up little bases because I'll need to go downwards at some point to get iron. So I admit it's a convoluted plan. Like, there's if people say I didn't put a lot of thought into it, or the scope creep is too high, I would say yes, you're exactly correct, but this is how you get 2,000, you know, 2,000, block long minecart paths with no point to them.
Except for this football field.
Yeah, it's just for a football field. And when I get done with that, then I gotta level out the ground and put a soccer field up next to it. I'll have a whole sports complex.
Not flashing you, but Rad Panda, on this other server that we were playing on, built like an entire Rocket League arena.
Ooh.
I'm gonna try to see if I can find an image he shared. Actually, it would have to be one of the ones I took.
I just need to figure out the dimensions.
Rocket Tiger and has. Where's hashtag has? Nope. It has. Link. Nope, not link. I'm dumb. It has an image. In channel. That's not how you spell channel. There we go. You okay if I spam you with maybe like 5 images?
That's fine.
Alright, let me go ahead and jump up to these.
Alright. Actually, I could do this now. So let's take a post. Ow. Okay, put that there. Go back up. Put these away. Where's this at? Right here?
No, did I not get the finished project? Oh, I'm sad with myself. Never mind, you're getting 1 image, and it's not even the completed one, and I'm upset with that.
Oh, well. It'll be inspiration.
Wait, maybe? Wait, you can see the boost on that one, but you can't see the boost on this one? Alright. No, damn, where is the chat? Here it is. Alright, massage Ander.
Alright, let's take a look at these. Oh.
Which sucks is nobody plays on it anymore because the server's been down for a while. I just wanted to like be able to put it up on my server just so that way like in place of my server, so the people who had played on it can like run around and do whatever the hell they want and like just kind of like have a nice little moment for a little bit and then go back to the regular one. A little nostalgia.
Yeah, I would. If I did that, I would want the world server files too, like the world file. Because I probably would be stupid enough not to have a blueprint for that. So I'd be like, how'd I do that again?
Let me see if Panda posted any. Yep, here it is. This is what I was looking for. Save that. Oh yeah, that's right. The 4th of July destruction of the world.
Sparrow.
Is this how he started it? Because I think it is. Wait, what? What the fuck did Jacob say? Hmm. Okay, yeah, I think this is like the next best image I can send you. That would show the exterior details that somebody else took.
Okay.
Because he had more teams, but I can't find the images of those.
Alright, let's...
That was on the outside of the arena.
Okay. Damn.
He put a lot of time into that.
Oh, and I see it's not completely lit up well enough because there's a creeper on in the stadium.
Yeah, there was a lot of them that kept appearing. He wanted to have like redstone going around, so that way they would have like I don't know what kind of effect it was, but it was just like kind of like just go in circles and shit, I guess. But he wanted them to be the exact opposite of each other. And that's the hardest part, is because of how big it was. It was hard to make it go the exact opposite.
Oh, yeah.
Because like you'd have to like stay on the other side of the redstone and then trigger at the exact moment you think it's in front of you. But he couldn't get to that, and like I said, it was like 1.14.3 or something, I think. Or 2. 1.14.2. There we go. that the server was. So like it was a while ago, last year, sadly. I kind of miss it, but I didn't really do anything special on it. And I've
It's like
really been wanting to. Hmm?
I was just gonna say, it sounds like another server needs to start up.
Well, we have one, but the issue is like the people that were showing interest are like no longer playing, and then Sherlock and I got to an argument, and he was one of the more active people, and after the argument, he just stopped playing it altogether.
Oh, that's
Sucks,
unfortunate.
but yeah, ain't really much I can do about that. Just gotta hope he realizes that like it wasn't a big argument, and he'll come back and kill the dragon with me, because that's scheduled for 9 p.m. today.
And I haven't even thought about doing that. I really should.
Well, when he was playing, he was saying that he wanted to loot the end cities, and I wanted that for him. And I don't know if you know Heimel or Jacob, but his girlfriend Rachel, she also plays on the server, which he does as well, but not as often. But she wanted the Elytras because she didn't want to fly through the Nether. She said that it was too big and too scary, so she didn't want to fly through it like, or she didn't want to walk through it like that and
Oh, that's a
explore it.
complete. That's a very, very fair and valid argument. I don't
Well, I
want
mean,
to. I don't want to walk through Nether either.
you just need one piece of like gold armor in your safe from the piglins.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about the piglins. I'm worried about everything else. Mostly the gas. And my. Well, at some point, I'm sure I'm gonna find some lava so I can make some obsidian, and that way I can connect these chunks. Hopefully, I'm far enough out back to my main base, which will allow for easier transport of stuff.
Yeah, and I kind of miss like having Sherlock there too, because Sherlock was actually pretty knowledgeable in Minecraft. Like he understood about the like how the portals work between like Overworld and the Nether, and he was able to figure out like how to link the portals and stuff like that too, and like how to change like exactly where the positioning is.
Yeah, I barely understand that stuff, and I just like I go by what the guide says because I'm not good at like fixing portals. So it's like when I have something that links to an older portal, I'm like, well, shit, I guess I gotta keep going. But that may also be just because like the knowledge I kind of sort of gained from that, again, very rudimentary, was on PS4, um, where I don't think it would be too much different. So either I just lucked into having everything spread out, or it works slightly different.
On PS4, I didn't know much. Like I knew how to. I didn't know like anything about redstone or something like that, but like I knew how to like set it to where like you could be on a clock so where you can have like a flickering light for a city or something, you know? Which is like what I did for the friend that I was telling you that I was gonna destroy his city. He built this really like rundown gas station, and he's like, yeah, I want this to be like in the ghetto, you know, like I want this to look real sketchy. So I was like, oh, dude, I got you. I'm gonna fix the lights. And he's like, what you mean? And I went up there and I set it to where one light was flickering really fast. I set it to where another light was like flickering every like couple of seconds, but it would flicker twice. And then I had like another one that was just like flickering once, just randomly. And he's like, what the fuck? I'm like, dude, this is so cool, right? And we said it tonight, and he's like, this is awesome. He's like, I really feel like I'm about to get mugged right now.
Yeah, the best I can do with redstone is put it down next to a powered rail and
Watch it go.
yeah, have it shoot me around the world as long as there's
Um,
as long as there's tracks.
Man, like I said, like Sherlock was really good when it came to that stuff, and he would always look up guides too. I was just too lazy to do it, but he was like talking about how he can help me with like making a sorter and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, I might just have to put the freaking data pack in here to do that.
Man, yeah, like I've seen like one of the streamers I follow actually did with help because one of the people he plays with is actually pretty knowledgeable. Oh, wait a minute! I knew that was there. That's my base. Don't you hate when you dig holes and you forget about stuff? Like the holes that you actually dug before?
Yes. There was one time I was trying to get back to my house and I couldn't figure out how to get back to the path, and I literally dug one that was like maybe 10 blocks away from where I went down. Like I dug up where I went down. It was so dumb.
Ah, yes. I always use signs, and more signs. And light my way.
See if I can find it. I hope I got an actual like screenshot of it, because if not, I'm gonna be real upset with myself. Hey, dope. You wanna see the only thing that I really feel like I'm good at?
Sure.
Bam.
Ooh, is that how
Okay.
is that? That's not chunk. That's like I'm actually trying to figure out how large that is. Just by that has to be 2 by 2 at least. That
Okay.
that is a freaking awesome hedge maze by the way.
Now, do you want to see the Easter egg in it?
Sure.
Okay. Do you see right on the bottom, like at my hot bar, the like bone meal sign, all the way up until you get to like the line between the grass and the chest? Above that is a name. Right above the right above the bone meal is an M. Above the sign is an A. Above the leaf is a J. Above the block or the dirt is an I. And between the chest and the dirt is a C.
Oh yeah, that's actually like yeah. That's actually like actually really well camouflaged too. But yeah, now I can see it. I mean,
There's actually quite a few names. Rachel's name. It's right ba, 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 ba. Okay, so you see where the crosshair is?
yeah,
The bottom of the crosshair leads to a straight path until it slams into like a tiny single block of the leaf. You see that?
yeah.
Now, that part right there is connected to an E. To the right of the E is an H. To the right of that is a C, A, and R. Left of the E is an L. That's Jacob's girlfriend, the one that I was saying wanted to get the Elytras and the new server that we're playing in.
Oh,
Um, I'm trying to remember whose name. Laser. Left of my cursor, left of my crosshair, there's Laser.
yep. Yeah, I see that.
Um, all the way to the right, you see the very long wall.
Yeah.
There's Moose. You can definitely see the S and the E.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I put everybody who was playing in the server into the maze. The part of the hedge that's actually raised up spells Manny. That's one of the guys that helped me with helped
Oh,
me placing the second layer.
yeah. It looks like there's one like up and to the right of that, and then yeah, it's also like up and to the left from the cursor.
Yeah, Bang the Banger, that's his name right there. Like just up and to the right of Manny's. Uh oh, actually right at the cursor it spells Heimel for Jacob Heimel.
Yep.
I made sure I put their names close together. Right actually where I'm holding the grass or with the block, there's a name, but I can't see whose name it is. I just see an E.
Yeah, it
But
looks.
I'm,
I was
huh?
just gonna say, it just might. It's probably upside down. So
Probably.
like, so like the start of it's in the corner.
hmm The start of it's right over here to the left, and then the exit is over there at the far right where you see it raised up by three.
Yeah. Good luck navigating that. Holy cow.
Everybody figured out you kind of just had to go diagonal. So what I did was I blocked off a path, basically like where the crosshair is, just like that. Like that bottom left corner that it's creating. Imagine lines coming out of that. I blocked that off, forcing you up by Manny's name, and then you have to go all the way up to the top, and then you have to drop back down diagonal. What I was gonna do is have command blocks underneath the dirt, just placed randomly throughout it, and there's gonna be pressure plates everywhere, so you couldn't dodge them. But the annoying thing and bad thing about that is it would have to only be able to be triggered by a player, so I couldn't do it. Because if a zombie gets spawned and then it steps over that same pressure plate that spawned it, it'll just keep spawning zombies.
Oh yeah.
And the zombies were supposed to be meant to spawn next to the player. So no matter where the player was, if it got stepped on, so like if three people went in there and one person stepped on it, it could get spawned next to you.
All right.
This right here was honestly like the second biggest maze that I built.
It looks to be at least 2 by 2 in chunks. And it could
I've
actually
done
be. It could be bigger, I think, but I'm not sure. I was just
I've
eyeballing it.
I've done one that was actually like 4 times the size of this. It was so annoying. I had so many names in it too. It was a big server, dude. It was so big. I hated it. And then when I got into playing Ark, I actually built mazes on that on like public servers. So everybody would be getting like raided around me and stuff like that, and then like I'd have these alpha tribes coming right over, just hovering over me with like these titans and stuff like that. They're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm building a maze for the server." And they're like, "Oh, I want to see what it looks like when it's done." And I'm like, "Can you bring me some wood?"
I
They'd
need
walk over,
stuff.
smack a tree. Yeah, they'd walk over, smack a tree, drop it all, and walk away and go raid people. Everybody's like, "Why isn't that guy getting raided?" And they're like, "He technically doesn't have a house." I logged on one day, somebody destroyed it from the bottom up. I was sad.
I'd
It's
be
not,
kind of mad at that.
it's not like Minecraft, man. It doesn't float.
You mean Minecraft physics?
Yeah, you break with the bottom block, and everything breaks. So if you tear out my floor, the floor is the foundation for the walls, and the walls are clearly the foundation for the roof. So you tear out my floor, I lose my house and my maze. I was gonna build my house on top of the maze, so anybody who finished it would just be able to come and visit. It was cool too because I liked it. You could. I had a floor that had a gap in it that if you missed, you would drop back close to the start of the first floor, and you had to make that jump, and you had to land through a doorway. It wasn't like a full, clear, easy jump. Like you had to land through the doorway, or else you would drop back down, like I said. And even going through the doorway, it wasn't even like an indication that you were almost done. It was just like to continue doing the maze. I think I'll put like a solid week into trying to build the stupid thing, but I didn't have enough space because I don't know if you've ever played Ark, but there's not really like amazing places that are smooth or flat, and if there are, somebody already has it.
Good old real estate problem, it sounds like.
Yeah. And then they had this other thing where like if somebody built something, you couldn't build within like a certain distance of it. Go fuck yourself, what do you want? Great comeback. I don't know. That's on her. She just cries about everything. Or what time is it? Oh, it's 4:17. It's too late to make ribs. I was gonna say do that because they might like it. I say pick up, see if they'd be willing to pick up the ribs, and then you can make that tomorrow. But they won't like the mac and cheese, so you'll have to make theirs regular and then make ours the normal way. Um, but tonight, no. Chicken tacos? Really? What the hell's wrong with them? Regular tacos? Burritos. It's pretty much the same concept.
Freaking, I can't, chili and what, not chili, like, pretty much.
Yeah, what, like the chili beans without the without the meat or whatever? I'm confused. Like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't know. I guess just don't do weird stuff to it. I guess is all I can say. Alright, love you.
The baby, but you're stuck with Anna. Unless you want me to take her.
Drop her off at my aunt's. Pick her back up at 6. Love you too. We'll let them deal with that. They sent their kid over here hungry. We're sending our kid over there sad. Well, I mean, did you hear what she said? Like, she tried taking a picture of her. She started crying instantly. We don't know why. This kid's like hypersensitive to everything. I told her to go to the living room, and she threw herself on the floor and started screaming. And I was like, "What is your problem?" She's like, "I'm in trouble." And I was like, "All I said was go to the living room. Like, we could be having like a family movie night. You don't even know." Kids, kids are nut, dude. But yeah, I love building mazes. It's like honestly one of the only things that I really have a lot of fun in because it takes like it doesn't take anything to build the maze but creativity. You can't have like the same path or point that somebody's running into because eventually it's just gonna get really boring.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes
What
sense.
the what the hell is this? The stupid little grip thingies on the bottom of my keyboard are popping themselves off. Ow. I've tried building cool houses. They don't come out right.
No, one day I'll advance beyond the formless cube.
Man, I want to play Minecraft with you now. Just do some dumb stuff. Not dumb stuff, we'll just be building cubes together.
Yeah, one day I've been sort of like working on it, but it's just like, you know, it's just like these are all rest stops. Like, I'm not gonna get too fancy, but like I'll try something for the most part. But yeah, it's nothing but cubes right now.
Money.
And I mean, it's like I have literally a cube because I've built my base into a chunk and haven't decided if I'm gonna make it nice or anything.
I think I'm gonna hop on Minecraft, but I don't know if I want to play on like vanilla, if I just want to play on a modded one. If I play modded, I can play Pokemon.
Yeah, mine's just straight vanilla with one data pack that tells me the coordinates and time.
Oh, A lit. Let's go. I didn't even know I could hang these up there. No.
Okay. Okay, so this is...
Hey, Ender.
This goes... Yeah,
How old are you?
I am 44.
Are you?
Yep!
I don't believe you.
I'm not bullshitting you.
Okay, well now I believe you, I guess. Huh?
But I'm
Wouldn't
still a
have
kid.
thought
But I'm still a fucking kid.
that. What
'Cause
kind of
you're.
stuff do you like?
I don't know. I mean, outside of just playing games, not much. Like I don't know. Way back in the day when I was more active, I played a lot of like roller hockey and stuff. But partially because I was starting to do a number on my knees, I gave that up.
You ever played any like tabletops or anything like that?
Yeah, kind of used to play tabletops too, but like again, part of the problem is just like getting a group together. So like, I need my axe for this. You know, there's not the main group I used to do. Like we kind of, it's not necessarily we moved apart, but we're just like all an hour apart from each other. So it's like at the time it was like really hard to organize stuff. I mean now it would be easier, but there's, I guess to put it charitably, there's complications
Alright.
with my old group. No, don't do that.
I've been trying to find a group lately, but there's like nobody able to play within my time. And it sucks, but like it doesn't, because there are games that'll start like close to, because I can't play any sooner than 8 p.m. like 8:30 p.m. Just because like, and like my wife doesn't work nights only, but I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I kind of have to work around her schedule. So like, and the times that she's not home, I can't be on. I have to be watching them and taking care of them and stuff.
Yeah,
Because my son's disgusting. He likes playing in his diaper if he poops, and my daughter cries over everything, so I have to make sure she's okay. But so I have to only be able to play at like 8:30, but there are games that will start at like 7:30 or like 8 p.m. or something like that. And I'm like, okay, well, let's look at the EU. And then they're all trying to do theirs within like early morning, and I'm like, I cannot do that.
yeah.
But I really do miss playing.
I agree with you on that. I kind of, yeah, I kind of miss running with my group. There's actually a couple times we tried to get some games going. Back in my previous expensive hobby, when I used to play Magic the Gathering, um, it was just we did get stuff, but you know there was stuff just just basically like in two separate groups. One of the players each moved away. You know, which is fine and everything, but then it's just like that kind of like ended up killing the group.
Were you the DM?
No.
Oh wait, no, why did
I
why did I say
cannot.
you said magic?
No, but I mean we did have like a D&D group, but I can't DM worth a damn.
Really? I've tried DMing. Like it's weird.
Yeah. Like
I had somebody actually complain about like a judgment on a roll, which was weird
how?
because well, okay, so I don't know if you watch anime, but we were doing. Actually, no, it has nothing to do with that. Never mind. This is a different. That didn't happen in that one. This has happened in a different one. Okay, we were doing a superhero one. It was like it was supposed to be based off of masks, but not masks. Like in where we could like make our own person and their own abilities and stuff like that.
Okay.
So kind of like a cross between masks and My Hero, but with more customizability.
Okay.
So we had a hero side and we also had a villain side. I was the temporary, I guess like more like interviewing for the evil side as a DM. And this guy rolled a 17. His character was flying, and he wanted to land on top of a smooth ambulance roof. And he rolled a 17. And I was like, you go to land, but your foot slips. But you still manage to catch yourself, you take you take no damage. He was flying fast. He even rolled to try to fly faster, which he unlocked a new ability. I gave him a new ability. He was flying too fast, and he tried to land perfectly on a flat surface that was slick. He is not going to land perfectly. And
Yeah.
the other guy started complaining. He's like, I was like, oh, I'm at the end of the event. He's like, I was like, oh, yeah, so what you think? And he was like, I don't know why you try to like screw up his roll or something. And I was like, I mean, it was a new thing. He had to roll pretty high.
Yeah.
Like 17, yeah, that's really good, but I mean, it was between 18 and 20 for a perfect. He was one off. And I was like, plus this is like me starting out new. I have to be able to figure out like the perfect way to do these rolls.
Yeah.
It can't be the same every single time, you know? Different situations have to create different things. Like, let's say you're defusing a bomb. If you're the one who built the freaking bomb, you have a smaller chance of failing it than you do of succeeding. But if it's a bomb and there's people freaking out and shit going on around you, and it's like a high pressure situation, you only have a few seconds left that you like didn't create it, you know? Like, yeah, your chance of succeeding is even smaller than if you were the one creating it in a no pressure situation.
Yeah. Well, and like, you know, as I'd probably say as a new GM, it's like, part of your, as you said, you have to kind of like figure things out too. And like, I don't know, if everyone wanted it to work perfectly, then why have dice?
Yeah. Like, the guy that slipped, like, even when he slipped, he's like, I was going really fast. Like, he remembered that he was going too fast. Like, there was stuff that happened in between when he unlocked the ability. He didn't try to go faster. He was already going as fast as he could at that point in time. But stuff was happening in between with the other character, so he forgot what was going on with him, and I had to make sure that I reminded him. I was like, yeah, you were going too fast. You didn't land it perfect. Like, you couldn't land perfectly. You slipped. But you're fine. You didn't fall off the roof or anything. Your foot just went whoop. Like, quick, just lost the balance, you know? It's like your knee buckled. Nothing. He's like, alright, cool. And he's like, yeah, I don't know why the other guy was really mad. And I was like, I don't know. He doesn't even want to be the DM for the freaking hero side.
People.
And then, after he complained about my judgment on the roll, he's like, yeah, I'd like to step down from DMing. And, would you be willing to do the hero and the villain side? And I was like, no. The hell? I was like, those are at 2 different times in the same day. I'm not doing that. And each person's wanting at least 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
That'd be like 6 hours out of my entire freaking day dedicated to just DMing. And then if I was going to be a good DM, I would have to throw 2 of them together. Like, I have to have, like, events, like, coincide with each other, you know?
Yeah. And that's
Although,
that's a lot of work.
it was really cool because the heroes did run into my villain, like, my own made created villain. He had, actually, I'm going to see if I can find it. I'm going to send it to you. It's a cute-ass little pet, too. Here it is. He had this little thing. This thing, he raised to be as innocent as possible, like... So it's not like that creature right there was not meant to be malicious at all. But he would let it roam around and greet new people, and then he would walk up and ask, hey, have you seen my pet? And if you answered him, he would have you. That's how his ability worked, is you would do whatever, like, you had to do what he said if you answered his question. But if you found a way to answer without answering his question, like if you like held it up or something, like that wasn't an answer. That's just a like acknowledgement of the question. So like it was like there were ways around it, and you could dodge the question too, like very easily. And he was supposed to be charismatic, so like if you tried to dodge the question, so if you were like if he's like, hey, have you seen my pet? And they're like, oh, you mean this? Like that's not a fucking answer. That's a question. But it's an answer to a question with a question. So like there were ways around it, and one person managed it, but they weren't nearby enough to understand what happened to their friend. So I was able to like interrogate their friend for a little bit before he came over. But it was a fun guy. He basically ran the entire city, but he didn't at the same time. Like he was manipulating people to run the city for him, so that way it wouldn't look like he was up to anything. But he was supposed to be like a doctor or something, I think is what the DM wanted him to be. So I had to go with at least that.
Well, nobody suspects the doctor.
I do. I've watched enough anime. I've seen Yu Yu Hakusho.
Well, I mean, really, an anime could be anything.
Yeah, sure. I know that there were murders. Not murders. There were a lot of people dying at the hospital, which one of the nurses that the doctor didn't know was doing it was murdering patients, and not even to be. What is that thing called? That's something angel, right?
Um,
Like where a nurse will kill a patient if she thinks that there's no chance of him surviving, like in a way to try to save them. I know the word, I just don't remember. I was driving me nuts. What the hell is it?
I want to say I've heard the term once too, which of course now it's going to drive me crazy. Even though it's probably not what I'm thinking of.
Angel of Mercy.
Yep. Well, now I don't feel too bad, in case I was thinking of something else.
Um, but there was a nurse there that wasn't being an Angel of Mercy. She was just like killing indiscriminately. And when the doctor found out about it, he went to take care of it. But the heroes were also on the scene, so like they ran into him again at the hospital. Which was even more annoying because I had a hero when I first started, and then the DM asked me to be a villain. I was like, hey, would it be cool if I created a villain? And he wanted me to keep the freaking hero that I made. So, the two that were there...
He wants your hero to be a bad guy then? Or...
No, he wanted my hero to stay your hero, but he wanted me to also have a villain. So, there was a point where these two came in contact with each other, and I had to have a one-sided conversation with myself, and I was like answering my own questions and stuff like that. Because guess who was the one that decided to walk up and start petting the freaking animal? Yeah, Luck, my stupid ass character, who was not lucky at all, ever. But he had shocky gloves.
Oh,
I saw. Like, if I could ever find a group that'd be willing to work at those times, dude, oh my god, I would definitely dive into a game. I had one DM, like, message me more recently, like, we were talking more recently, that it is, and he was like, yeah, like, I'm looking to do one-on-ones with people, because I told him that I was having an issue with finding people within my times. And he's like, yeah, if I can manage it, and if I can, get everything to work out right, would you want to do that? And I was like, a one-on-one? That sounds weird. Like, don't you need more people? And he's like, no, not at all. He says D&D really just recommends having more people, but you don't need more people. You could tailor the game for one person.
Yeah.
Like, if you, like, and I think that's kind of cool too, like, in a place where you would need, like, a rogue to, like, pick a lock or something like that, like, so the person could just search around harder and find something to open it with. Or even have that ability to try to pick a lock.
I mean,
And have
technically, anything's doable with a skill check.
Well, yeah, but like in a one-on-one, like you have like more leniency for the person
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
like you're more story-based than you are like combat. Because with combat, like you're wanting everybody to have fun and like, ah, let's murder shit. But you can actually like really focus on that person. Which that's what I used to try to do was I actually had people create their heroes or villains and I made them give me knives. Like you had to give me a knife. If you didn't give me or like a knife or a dagger, if you didn't give me one of those or at least three, then your character couldn't be created. So like I needed a way for these characters to like stab themselves with the information that they gave me. So like one guy had what was it? He had a fear of confined spaces. So like obviously claustrophobic. And the way his quirk or his ability worked could easily put him in that situation. Like I think he was able to use like his bones to do something. But one of the times his bone like he went to try to create like this big shell around himself to protect him, but he kind of failed and succeeded, so I gave him like a 50-50 on it. So I was like, yeah, it worked, but it's too small, and your character starts panicking. He's like, dude, what the fuck? And I was like, you're claustrophobic. What do you want me to do? You did that to yourself.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't make the rules, man. You told me that. You told me to tell you that. Okay, well, now you know why it's happening. It's your fault. You trusted the DM. Plus, I mean, really, like, what did you think was going to happen? If I tell you my biggest fear, like, I expect you to use it against me at some point, especially if you're asking for it. It was still fun, though. Like, a lot of the people had, like, a lot of fun with it. One dude's character was, like, scared of fire. I don't know why. He didn't know why. He was just scared of it. And I'm like, dude, was it like an M80 went off in your hand or something? Like, what happened? And he's like, no, I'm just scared of fire. I was like, well, fine, you're just inexplicably scared of fire then. So there was a point where, like, something happened and his character was being really obnoxious, and I was like, alright, you guys are getting a call. And he's like, yeah? And I was like, there's a building on fire 2 blocks away. He's like, dude, you're an asshole.
I mean, I
But
don't know about that.
well, I mean, I kind of was, but I wasn't. It was like I was an asshole because I retaliated against him. Because something happened that he was like dragging something out that was already explained like 3 times to him, but he kept dragging it out as if there was more information. Like one of those people that tries to roll like a perception check in a room, and the DM's just like, "You're just like, there's nothing here," and he's like, "Oh, I didn't roll high enough," and then like he tries it again. It's like no, like no matter like you roll like solid like 20s, and you still would not find anything in this room. It is just a room. There's nothing here.
Sometimes a hole is just a hole.
Yeah, seriously.
That's even if you roll nat 20, sometimes it just happens to be a plain old room.
I mean, like for his character, I had to do certain things to make sure he understood that it was just normal. So like you said, like a hole is just a hole. Like, let's say he did stumble across a hole, and he wants to roll a perception check, and I was like, you see a dog walking away. Like, you put the pieces together and just come to the conclusion the dog was digging the hole. This hole has no significance. Move on. Like, I had to start doing that kind of stuff with this character. He's like, why do you treat my character different than everybody else's? And I was like, dude, I explained the same thing to you like 3 or 4 times. You still didn't get it. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean to you, but if your character doesn't understand or has a learning deficiency, like, there has to be a way to move the game on. I can't stay on this one spot.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to railroad you, man, but we gotta move. After a while, he kind of got used to it, and he was like actually like, but he started understanding a little bit more, so I was able to like stop doing it so much. But I ultimately just ended up leaving. It was way too much to do. Because I had people that were willing to like do the villain and heroes on different days, but then I'd have like people miss the days that they were supposed to be there and then want to make it up. And then everybody thought they could just make up days, and then they thought they could just do one-on-ones because I did like 2 one-on-ones for an intro for somebody's character, so I can get them met up with a group. I'm like, I can't. There's no way I could do all of that, man. I wanted to so badly. Dude.
No. I mean,
So.
sometimes it's just like you have to keep it practical. Oh, what the fuck? Where are you at? Oh, stupid skeletons. Interrupting important work.
Okay, there is nothing in this file. Nothing in that file. Nothing in that file. Dope. And then I can move this to here. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. Boop.
Okay.
There's a duplicate in here.
I'm not done with this yet. I need that.
Those are what I had for my campaign. Just stolen images.
Okay, one sec. Alright. Well, you know, like I would just say is that sometimes that, you know, for lack of a better term, borrowing art sometimes to convey, you know, the meaning of a character or whatever. Because I think, I want to say I think I know someone who did that. It's just like, because it, you know, as part of it, it's just like they found, you know, they found stuff on in various places. Like, okay, yeah, this is like describes, you know, whatever character I need. Oh, I have a potato. Can I start doing things with potatoes?
Rotates. What kind of character did you used to run?
What's that?
What kind of character would you run?
I don't know. Probably depends on the campaign.
Fair enough.
I've run, you know, I've run, meathead, tanks. You know, I've run a lot of characters, which is surprising when I actually look back. I'm thinking just actually how many actual games I've played. There's not that many, but still enough in a way.
I've played in a lot of different campaigns. But I think my favorite characters were one that I had in a space opera, my villain, and my arcane trickster, because he sucked, but he was like really strong at the same time. The DM didn't know what to do with me. We were I think level like 3 or 4, and we had to fight a bugbear. Now, prior to this bugbear fight, my character was really smart. Like, he could land rolls on creating traps, and I was making traps and stuff like that for this big fight that we had coming up. And when it came to him attacking, he would miss a lot. And if he hit, he didn't hit very hard. Until we got to the fight with the bugbear. And I landed a really hard crit, and then this other character landed his crit, and we killed it in 2 hits. And the DM's like, I genuinely don't know how to proceed from here, because if Tiger's always missing, and then randomly wants to hit something and KOs it, how do I create a new character, or how do I create like an opponent for him? Do I make it strong? Do I make it weak? Do I put it, like, there's no middle. He's like, either he misses, or he hits hard as hell. So that was fun. That campaign hasn't gone in a while. They all moved. With the space opera, I had this character that was a race created by another character. And he had the ability to teleport. But he had to, like, either he had to have been there, or he, like, has to be able to see it and understand, like, the dimensions of it. More so, understand if I teleport, will I fit there? So there was one point where, actually, one of the images that I sent you, there's this girl in the very bottom, 4th from the last one. She's just kind of sitting there on something. She was the leader of the security on this really big ship.
Okay.
And she told us we need to board her ship immediately. And I was like, how immediate? As soon as possible. Okay. I teleported over. And she fought me. And got mad. And like the entire time she's fighting me, I'm dodging her. Luckily enough, I'm landing my rolls here. And I get her pinned, and this other guy comes in. He starts laughing and clapping and high-fives me for pissing her off. And he was her boss.
Awkward.
And then,
Well, for her.
yeah. So then I'm like, oh, well, we need a ship upgrade. We should take this one. And the DM's like, you don't have the manpower to run this ship. And I was like, we'll make everybody here do it for us. He's like, you don't have that power. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're not, like, you don't have the ability to command them to do what you want. Like, they're just not going to listen. And I was like, okay, well, then they'll get hurled out into fucking space, and eventually it'll make an example. He's like, yeah, that's not going to work. Everybody's just going to ignore you. And I'm like, either they're dumb or you're dumb. Like, which one? Because if I see people getting hurled out into fucking space, I'm gonna do my job.
Yeah. Or you're at least going to do what they ask of you for the time being.
Yeah, I'll do the bare freaking minimum. like like you want the ship to go forward, I'll make it go forward, you know, but I'm not gonna put any more effort into anything else other than that. But we almost took over the ship, and then the DM like got really mad that I was still pressing for it. So I was like, fine, whatever. We want a different ship then. So then he like screwed us later on. Then I left that campaign because the DM was a jerk. Like it was very apparent. So rules lawyering, nobody likes it. He wasn't doing it. I got to the point where I almost started doing it because he was screwing me over so hard. There was a movie, I don't know if you've seen it, it's an action movie. And I want to say it's that really stupid one where somebody shoots a rocket and this other person shoots a bullet and then like they both collide with each other and the rocket blows up. It was this weird movie and it had like a bunch of like old action actors in it.
What,
But
what was it? Tropic Thunder?
no, Tropic Thunder was where they were making a movie and you had Robert Downey Jr. who was playing like the black guy,
Yeah,
right?
but it had a bunch of action heroes.
No, I don't think it was that. It was this other one. But
Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie then, and that just popped into my mind.
they this guy's character, he's like, oh, well, I saw this on a movie. He even said out of character, I saw this on a movie, so I want to try it in game. DM's like, okay, sure, you can do it. And the guy's like, all right, cool. Well, I want to take a bullet out of my pocket and then take a lighter and light the back of it and send it shooting into my opponent. And I'm like,
Okay.
that doesn't work like that. I was like, the reason the bullet goes is because the hammer slams into the bullet and causes a reaction within the bullet. It's not the heat. The bullet just gets hot because of everything that happens to
Yeah.
it. And the DM's like, well, it's whatever, I'm saying that he can do it. And I was like, okay, whatever, so I guess we can do some crazy stuff then. So, I decide I'm going to dodge somebody who's trying to cut my head off. And I'm like, oh, well, I want to jump off of this and teleport away. And the DM's like, oh, well, you can't do that, it's too high up. And I'm like, what the hell do you mean? I can fucking teleport.
Yeah.
Like, how is that any worse than somebody shooting a bullet out of their hand with a lighter in space? I was like, I'm pretty sure we're far past the reality aspect of this fantasy game. There was one thing that was really funny though, is that like I wanted to take the security guard as our crew member. she hated me, but I kept hitting on her. And there was a point where we were like at this like food court or something, and I teleported really high up, and then jumped down and tried to like nosedive into her, and then teleported away, and I teleported like 2 feet away and crashed into a table. And the DM's like, yeah, momentum still exists.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
That was my biggest enemy, was momentum.
but I would say, like, you know, to be fair, in character, it was a pretty cool idea. It's just my character may not have thought it all through.
Well, I mean, like, my character, I knew the risk. My character knew the risk, but it was one of those, like, you know what's gonna happen, you still expect otherwise, or hope for otherwise, and you put so much hope into it that you actually truly expect it to happen. But, like, he was hoping for something cool to happen or whatever, and like, I'm gonna freaking impress her or whatever by doing this really dumb thing, and it just doesn't work out. But he did that a lot. Like he was always looking like the whole teleporting into the ship in the first place. Like he's like, oh, I know there's a chance I'm going to get into a fight, but this will be really funny, and I'm hoping that they see it like that too. And it just doesn't work out. There's another point where I've made a joke because we got a bigger ship. We didn't take that like level 10 ship that we wanted. We got like a level 4. And we got pulled into actually where I crashed into the food court. These people were inspecting our ship because they said that it was stolen. So me having the highest in charisma and stuff like that, I had to persuade them into thinking that I had to buy time. So I was trying to tell them that we purchased it off of somebody and that we think that it might be a false report of it being stolen. Luckily enough, we had a character who was able to hack into things. So he went into our computer and like managed to get into he went into his computer, managed to get into theirs, and then hacked the documents into saying like that it was actually like sold to us and stuff like that. And he's like, okay, well, like, and the guard's like, oh, well, this makes no sense, blah, blah, blah. Got so lucky that the guy made his roll. But, where was I going with this?
Well, there's one or two results, right?
Well, I mean, like, we got brought in because they still wanted to do, like, a thorough inspection. And I guess, like, they called the person and couldn't get through. So, like, we were able to go after a while. But in all that time, I kept trying to hit on this chick. The entire time I was hitting on her. And then I convinced somebody else to join our ship. I don't remember who it was. I don't think I have their picture here. But this guy that I liked because he had something. There was something strange about the way it was the way he talked. He talked weird, so I wanted him.
I mean, you know, it's valid.
Well, I mean, he was a different race, but like, that's kind of partially the reason I wanted him. But I wanted him more because he talked different, and it was just really entertaining. It was pissing everybody else off, so I wanted him around. Because I was like, dude, if everybody hates me, then they're definitely gonna hate him, and they're gonna love me now. But the guy was way more useful than I was.
Ah, that whole reverse psychology thing. If they hate me, then...
Yeah, like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, you know? It didn't work like that, though, because they hated him because of the way he talked, but he was smart. They hated me because of how stupid I acted, and I just didn't care. So, like, they knew I could be smart, they just knew I wouldn't do it as often as I needed to. So they were just over me already. But with that character, actually with that character and the hero one, I don't know if you've ever seen Boondocks, not Boondock Saints. But in Boondocks, there's this episode where Huey is trying to chase after Riley, who's trying to attack somebody. And Huey invents these gloves that can electrocute people. And so he goes up and I think he has to like fight Riley and get him out of there, and then this like samurai comes out and he fights Huey. But I really like the idea of the shock gloves. Because I was like, I don't like having a weapon that could get knocked away from me.
Yep.
I don't want to be like every episode of freaking Supernatural where I start questioning why I don't have a tether on my dagger or knife. So I was like, alright, cool. Let me talk to this dude who talked weird and see if I can convince the DM to make these shock gloves instead. So I managed to get level 2 shock gloves, which were 2 levels weaker than what I wanted, but I'll live. And I did. But those things came into handy whenever I needed to dive off of that roof when the guy tried to cut my head off. because luckily enough, the DM actually let me after everybody started saying like how unfair it was that I wasn't allowed to do something like that. So he made me suffer like second-degree burns because of the momentum. Because I
Okay.
dove down and wanted to teleport in a way that I would like land sliding. But because of a 60-foot drop, I had way too much momentum, so I went sliding and slammed into something. It took like a lot of damage. But I lived.
Well,
The
you
more I
know,
thought about
that's the most important thing.
the more I thought about it, I'm sure I was just paranoid, but it seemed like the DM was just trying to kill my character. But I kept surviving in weird ways.
And I mean, I don't know. Again, I haven't actually been in a group where it's like, I don't know, even like Tomb of Horrors or something like that. So it's like, and I've I known all my DMs, so it's like, you know, the only way we're gonna screw up is if, you know, the dice are unkind to us, which is a
Yeah.
thing. So, I would probably say that your DM was not trying to kill you. Because because if he thought your character just like was out of place or anything, like a good DM would just say, "Hey, we probably like, I know you're attached to your character and everything, but like, either your character's OP or whatever, or I just don't think it fits in this, in this. So, I'd like to, you know, discuss with you about, how to change it up."
And like I would have loved that. Like I really liked playing with them and everything like that. I just wish like I knew why my character like because he was failing me. Like I was rolling like 18s and stuff on dodges, which regardless, an 18, even a 15 and up, is still like a somewhat successful dodge. But I was still getting hit like really hard and not dodging anything.
Yeah,
And
that sounds like a
I
DM problem.
I messaged one of the other guys and I was like, hey, like, can you get into a fight for me real quick? And he was like, why? And I was like, because I need to know, like, if your dodges are working and mine aren't, because you have less evasion than I do. And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, I'm not dodging anything, and I'm rolling high. And I think that he's not letting me dodge things, and I think he might be trying to kill my character. And I thought at some point too, like after a while, I was like, maybe like you said, I might have just been too attached to the character, but like, it was kind of like a mix-up of like both of them. Like some things, the more I thought about it, it was like, yeah, no, it kind of makes some sense. And then like other things, I'm like, but this should have worked out though. So it was kind of like it's kind of like a mix of me being too attached in some situations, and then like there actually kind of being something a little weird happening in others. So I was able
Yeah,
to at least like say that.
yeah. I mean, like, if I don't know. Again, because I've never actually been. That's it. Well, I take that back. It. I've been in a group. I've been in a group where we've actively wanted to get rid of characters. Um, and probably, I mean, I say for the best. The GM kind of prevented us. Um, I mean, to be fair, like the characters were doing a good job of like making it really difficult for the group, and it's just, I think it's just in part that my friend that was doing it just at the time wasn't that good at pen and paper RPGs, and was like uber min maxing and just like taking everything to like 13, and it was just like just a royal pain in the ass. So, but that was more of like the players not wanting to put up with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, GM, like, in the dark, I would just say, like, you know, that could be like weird things, but like, again, and I say it's only knowing one side of the story. It sounds like that may actually what you're describing is a GM problem. I mean, like, I understand, like, I also understand you being attached to your character, but like, I don't know. A smart GM should figure out something along those lines and not like think about trying to like covertly in a bad way trying to kill the character. In other words, make it obvious. Again, I could be reading too much into it. Um, but that, I mean, obviously that could have been happening,
I think I'm. Oh, sorry.
which sucks. I think
Yeah.
because that makes it a really bad experience for the player too. Because it's just like if the GM doesn't explain necessarily what's going on, then that's creating a bad experience for you because it's like, well, like if we look at the raw numbers on this, hello, Ender friend. I need to build a little hole so that you can try and come kill me.
I think I made him mad at some point, and I think that's might have been what it was. Is that like, because I know for a fact that the DM was younger than me. I think he was like 16. I'm 28 now, but at the time I was like 27. But I think I made him mad because in the he wanted us to follow like as close as we could to the actual rules of the space opera. But if we followed as close as we could to the rules, that means he had no say over what happened in the world at all. He was more so a transition effect, is how the space opera was actually run. The DM had no say over, like, let's say you walked into a building and you found 600 boxes that looked like they would be the most expensive things that you would ever find. You could genuinely say that they were the most expensive things that you would ever find, and the DM could say, okay, yes or no to that. But it's up to you to say what was in the box.
Okay.
That's how that's how the rules of space opera actually ran. Like, that's what it said in the book. There were also these things called advancements that your character could make. And it was just by meeting a certain criteria at the end of every campaign. Like, at some point in time, did this happen? Or did this happen to your character? Like, one person had to make, like, mass hacks. Like a mass hack. So, my character was trying to get away, so he did a mass hack of, like, the system, because my wanted poster was being, like, plastered everywhere. So, he did a mass hack to shut everything down. So, he got his advancement. Mine was... I had to make an intentional accident. So one of the things I did was I knew that, because remember the guy that I said talked weird, who was like he worked on stuff. I had to distract him so one of the characters could like sneak into his base, where the guy was actually still in. So I ended up grabbing something at the bottom of this freaking like really like unsturdy stack, and I ripped it out. But I ripped it like in an upward direction, so everything went scattering everywhere. And the dude got pissed and ran over. And the DM's like, no, that wasn't an accident. I'm like, he's like, no, that wasn't an intentional accident. You didn't know that was gonna happen. And I'm like, if I see a stack of CDs just sitting there and I rip the bottom one out, they're all gonna tumble. Like, it's just physics.
Yeah.
But it was like that, and I'm like, that's what an intentional accident is, and if it's not, then you need to tell me what one is so I know how to make my advancement, because my character's never going to progress if I don't know. And he never told me, so every day that we played, I'm like, okay, did I make mine? No, you didn't make yours. Then tell me what intentional accident is. Because I made that advancement one time, doing something completely unrelated to what an intentional accident would be. And I think in me arguing with him over stuff like that, like, I told him one of the things that I thought I found in a box, and he's like, no, that's not in there. He's like, this is what you find, and I'm like, you can't really tell me what I find though, right? Like that's you said that we're playing according to the rules, right? And if we're doing that, then it's this way. He's like, no, I make up that. He's like, that's the one thing that we're not going to pay attention to. And I was like, well, then how the hell does that make any sense? Because you don't know what's useful to me and what's not. You don't know how I think. So you're going to give us something completely useless, or at least me, and like, and the thing is, when that argument happened, we were on a ship of people that had these really badass looking robes that served no purpose. They just look cool, and I wanted one, and a lot of people had them. And I was in a locker room looking through things, and I didn't find one. I was like, you're telling me that nobody on this fucking ship was sick today?
Yeah, again, from your perspective, that actually does sound like a GM problem. What the fuck?
But, like, I can understand, because if he was younger than me, because he might have, because I know I have a voice that does not sound like I'm 28, but if he was younger than me, I can understand where I would have pissed him off and where he would have retaliated in that way. To where he's kind of just screwing my character over in ways that don't seem like it but are. Because I know when I was 16, I was malicious. And if anybody did anything that I thought was messed up towards me, I would retaliate. I know that for a fact. So I understood, didn't agree with, but I understood if you did that. So I just left the campaign. I was like, it's easier for me to leave than for me to continue to deal with a potential harassment in a fantasy game.
Yeah. Yeah, that again, it sounds like, bad GMing, which again is a shame because it's like ruins your experience.
Well,
because a good campaign is supposed to be good not only for the DM but for the players, especially for the players because it's kind of like what the DM is doing. But like good DMs, you know, can make a campaign for their players and get their players super involved, rather than just trying to shit. Right, I knew about this hole. I keep forgetting about all these holes that I know are here. Sorry.
no, you're good.
It's like surprise holes, but I know there's a ravine underneath here. At some point I'm gonna fall into it, but that's future me's problem. But anyways, on the rant, it's just like, yeah. Again, it sounds more and more like it sounds like, and I'm trying not to be still too harsh here, but it sounds like the campaign was more of a almost like look what I did, and for some people you're just along for the ride. And that's kind of a shame because that the system you were using is like, at the very least, it's like, no, this is kind of a two-way street, and the GM's here to help facilitate some things, but we players, we do have a say. I don't know.
Aw, hang on. Ah, whatever, it's backwards. So, after that happened, I ended up leaving the campaign. I didn't, like, argue or anything like that. I was like, hey, I'm hopping out, I got, like, stuff going on. Just came up with some, like, BS excuse and just dipped out. And then I started writing this the same day. And there was a lot of ideas. But the issue with that is I hit writer's block.
trying to write stuff, and like again, knowing my GMs, it's tough to write a campaign.
No, sorry, I was laughing at something. Something else somebody posted in the Pandemonium chat. Transport me to the orb match. Transport me to the throngs. Purchase me some of those sucrose snacks. If I'm stuck here, this will help me relax and we'll yell, yell, yell for our region. Will be said that they cannot catch. If you miss 3 times, you have failed at the old orb match. It's those stupid little alien memes.
Well, you know, get creative.
I love them. They're great. What's he doing? But yeah, I wanted to write that, and I didn't want to have it written in a way that would railroad people, but I realized like how much was going on. It would be way too hard to do, but it seemed kind of fun to try. Because I would have to like remember different events that were still going on, regardless of the character did them or not. What's one of your favorite characters that you've ever ran?
So, well, I guess this one. Oh, this one's got a story. So, again, with moving and stuff, God, how long did this campaign actually run? I think this campaign took 15 actual years to complete.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's stories within stories behind this. So it's not that the system makes that much difference, but it's Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. My friend who is the DM kind of just basically got involved with that more than D&D. So eventually, like, God, when did we start this? When did we actually start this? I think we started this in '93. No, it was even before that. This might be in '91. So one of his friends turned him on to Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Completely independent of Warhammer Fantasy Battle and Warhammer 40k. So yeah, he got his friend turned him on, so he decided to run a campaign for us. That I think started in '91, and how long? The first break I think happened in '95. So I was playing a half-elf wizard. God, I'm digging deep to remember the original party composition. There was another half-elf. One of my friends was playing. What was she? I think she was initially a bounty hunter.